They reappeared on the second layer on the deck of the galleon. The three of them looking around to see where they ended up. They quickly figured out when Marine hit the ground near them. The raccoon having been thrown on her back. She looked up a moment later, and upon seeing Sonic, said, "Oi, Sonic! You here too, mate?" Sonic answered, "Sir, I'm Marine. And so is Tails. We'll catch up later, though. Where's Blaze?" Marine pushed herself up and pointed at Sonic, Shining, and Twilight, looking to see Blaze battling with Captain Jelly near the middle of the ship. The captain holding up his lollipop to defend himself. First he throws Marine, now he's using a stick to protect himself? He is just a regular ball of sunshine, isn't he? Sonic commented. Twilight narrowed her eyes. Get him? Both Sonic and Shining nodded. Get him! With that, the three of them ran towards Blaze and Captain Jelly while Marine struck off to the side of the ship. After using his lollipop to push Blaze backwards, the cat sliding backwards with the port side railing and using her hands to stop herself before she hit it. Captain Jelly turned to see Sonic coming towards him. The robot swung his lollipop down at the hedgehog, but Sonic planted his feet on the deck and slid towards him, jumping up before the confectionery could hit him, landing on top of it. Captain Jelly panicked and decided the blue hedgehog on his lollipop and lifted it up with his hands, shaking it and trying to get to the blue hedgehog to let go, Sonic hanging on by wrapping both his hands around the stick. When Twilight and Shining Armor were a little closer, Sonic let go of the lollipop and lifted onto the back of the ship, temporarily throwing Captain Jelly off balance. Twilight then came to a stop and channeled her magic into her horn, wrapping it around the lollipop and trying to pull it towards her. Again, Captain Jelly wrapped his hands around the stick and tried to hold on to it. He so focused on his lollipop that he didn't see Shining still coming, and ended up taking the full hit when the stallion tackled him to the wall at the back of the ship. Twilight releasing her magic grip on his lollipop. After Shining backed off, Captain Jelly floated away from the wall, only to be kicked from the side by Blaze towards the starboard side of the galleon. When he was still disoriented, Sonic leapt down from the back and delivered a homing attack, knocking the robot against the starboard side railing. Sinking his head, Captain Jelly looked to see the four of them crowding around him, ready to attack him if he tried to move. Beyond them, it looked like one of their friends was forming a rainbow, and another was flying towards his ship. Most of his crewmates now scrap metal. The situation was pretty grim for him, until Marine suddenly leapt from the starboard railing towards him, landing on his backside, grabbing onto the back of his head. "Got you now, you sonny chuck! Your face now!" she cried as she started pounding her fist into his head, trying to finish him off. "Get away from that, Marine!" Blaze yelled as she dashed forward, flames already curling around her right arm. Despite the annoying pounding, Captain Jelly was able to put Marine to good use, ducking his head when Blaze was closer and putting the raccoon directly in the way. While Blaze hesitated, Captain swung his head up and clobbered her with his lollipop, sending her crashing into Twilight, both of them ending up in a heap on the ship's deck. Sonic and Shining Armor glared at Captain Jelly, both of them charging. Again, the robot captain used Marine against him, putting her in a pout they were about to attack, forcing him to stop. "Marine, we gotta take this guy out!" Sonic exclaimed. Marine looked up at him and asked, "What do you think I'm doing here, mate?" Or Sonic or Shining could respond, Captain Jelly engaged his rocket booster, shooting forward and causing Marine to let out a startled "Crikey!" The robot battled both of them over, Shining hitting the ground near the port side railing, and Sonic crashing into collective barrels near the back of the ship. As the hedgehog recovered from the rough landing and hitting a few barrels, he noticed that the barrels were hiding something interesting. Out over the chocolate milk sea, Tails was flying ahead towards the galleon, while Rainbow and Silver worked together to make a bridge for it for all the non-flyers. Inspector Espeon and Applejack mopped up the last of Captain Jelly's crew. As he got closer, he could see Shining, Twilight, and Blaze recovering from being attacked, and Marine still tried to hold on to Captain Jelly's head as he hovered in place and tried to use his lollipop to force her off of him. Suddenly, Sonic leapt out of the barrels where he landed, and once again going for the captain. Unfortunately, Captain Jelly saw him coming, and upon noticing that Marine had stopped trying to hold on so tightly, he gave a strong upwards jerk of his lollipop, sending the raccoon flying. So he ended up hitting Sonic in midair, her back coming into contact with his legs and throwing his trajectory off. Marine fell to the deck shortly afterwards, but Sonic kept going, till it looked like he had trouble righting himself. Tails paused in midair, the rainbow bridge connecting with the ship as he watched what happened next. Captain Jelly lost himself towards Marine, but came to a stop halfway as Sonic went over his head and turned around, grabbing his lollipop with both hands, swinging it like a baseball bat. The confectionery came into direct contact with Sonic, sending him flying over the starboard side of the ship. "Oh no, Sonic!" both Tails and Blaze exclaimed, the former hurriedly running over the way to the side of the ship as the others started milking their way towards it. As Tails reached the ship, Captain Jelly grabbed Marine, who had fallen on her face, and pulled her back towards him, wrapping his left arm around her to keep her close, while he held his lollipop in front of him defensively, hovering above the group at the starboard side railing. Tails landed on his side and sick, while Twilight, Blaze, and Shining Armor stood up. "We've got to help Sonic," Blaze growled. "We gotta help Marine, too," Shining argued. Tails spoke. "We gotta help both of them, quick! Sonic can't swim!" Twilight's eyes widened as he looked at Tail. "He can't what?" Before anyone could say anything else, Captain Jelly laughed. "Ha ha ha! That's right, you landlubbers. That blue rat is meeting his fate as we speak. Now you better stand down and tell your crew to stay off my ship, or she will be next." He indicated Marine, the raccoon struggling to get free at that. Tails, Shining, Blaze, and Twilight gritted their teeth behind them. Their companions were getting closer to the galleon. Suddenly there was a loud splash behind Captain Jelly, as a jet of chocolate milk shot straight up in the air, hiding whatever caused it from view. As it began to settle, a familiar voice said, "Guess again, Captain No Legs!" Captain Jelly looked back over his shoulder to see, as the chocolate milk parted, Sonic shooting up out of the dairy. "Impossible! How?" he exclaimed. As a yellow wisp popped out of his chest, Sonic grinned. "What, you jelly?" Captain Jelly glared at the hedgehog, but it ended up costing him. As Twilight and Shining Armor both fired a single magic shot at him, the former hitting his left arm, and the latter managing to hit the side of his face. As he turned back to look at him, Sonic made his move, curling him into a ball and launching to a homing attack at the captain's back. So surprised that he let go of Marine and fell face first to the deck, dropping his lollipop. Blaze quickly got under Marine and caught her in her arms. As he looked down at the young raccoon. "Are you alright, Marine?" Marine nodded confirmation. Blaze looked at Sonic and asked, "Do you have a plan?" Sonic nodded. "Yep, but we're going to need some heavy hitters to pull it off." He pointed at the barrels near the back of the ship. "Tails, Twilight, those barrels are hiding some wisps. These should come in handy, right?" They nodded, hurry over to the barrels to find the wisps. After doing that, Blaze sat Marine down and said, "Marine, I want the cannons on the starboard set up. We'll worry about aiming them later. Just have them ready." As he ran, Marine saluted, "Aye aye, Blaze!" It took Captain Jelly a minute to reboot after the surprise attack. When he looked up to see Sonic, Twilight, and most of their friends, including the princesses, gathered around him in a compact circle. Shining Armor spoke first. "It's over for you, Captain Jelly. Your crew is defeated, and you're heavily damaged. This is your one chance to surrender peacefully." Captain Jelly was silent for a moment, but then he suddenly engaged his rocket and shot up, hovering just below the level of Celestia and the lowest heads. "Arr! You ain't be mistaken if you think me defeated so easily. A real pirate never comes quietly, and I will never go quietly until I've sunk that pesky hedgehog." Before anyone could move or say anything, Jet suddenly shot above everyone's heads, his string gear now looking like a rocket or a missile as he held Basona down his side, smacking Captain Jelly with it, causing him to spin around. "Take a spin, you clown. The only one who gets to mess with Sonic the Hedgehog is me," he called back. Captain Jelly jumped forward when he stopped spinning, and Storm flew up next to him, his extreme gear having transformed into a bike, delivering a potent uppercut to the robot's stomach, sending him skyward. He stopped moving up. Captain Jelly hovered in place and shook his head, trying to get the buzz bombers to stop circling his head. As he did so, it was too late. A wave flew by him, her board now looking like a hovercraft, stuck to the side of his face over rents, spinning him around yet again. She nodded to herself. "I'd rather rip this crumb piece apart myself, but this should be fun to watch." While she flew back down towards the ship, Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy flew up with the smell of spilled Captain Jelly, a blue glow starting to surround him. As Captain Jelly finally stopped spinning, both Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash unleashed the power of the blue wisp that the barrels had been hiding, both of them turning to cubes and falling straight down towards Captain Jelly. They pushed him straight down, causing him to hit the deck of his ship face first, while two Pegasi turned back to normal and fluttered off to the side. Captain Jelly recovered faster than one might expect and immediately started looking to see who had landed on him. He didn't look long, though, before he saw that Twilight and Rarity had stepped forward, both of them sparking a silent glow surrounding both of them. Before he had a chance to scream, they both fired silent beams from their horns straight at him, sending Captain flying off the starboard side of his ship. Amazingly, he wasn't destroyed by the twin silent lasers and managed to catch himself in midair after the lasers had stopped. Though it was a miracle he was holding together, and all of his exposed circuits and heavily damaged body were indicated. "Man, he's one tough son of a can opener, isn't he?" Sonic grinned. Twilight turned to Blaze and curiously asked, "Princess Blaze, what's you doing in the eyes?" With a smirk, Blaze raised her left hand and snapped her fingers. "Of course, Lady Sparkle. She snapped her fingers, and the fuses on all the starboard side cans suddenly lit. Silver using psychokinesis to aim them directly at Captain Jelly. While leaning against one of the cans, Marine saluted, "Nice doing you, mate!" As the fuses reached their end, Marine called, "All Collins, fire!" As she said that, all the starboard side cans fired on Captain Jelly, all of them hitting their target right where her heart. And that did. Captain Jelly was blown into pieces as his crewmates. The remains landing in the chocolate milk sea and sinking to the bottom. Marie immediately began to cheer. "Woohoo! That was the ripper! Did y'all see that?" The festive mood was raised real slightly when she heard her throat clearing behind her. She turned around and saw Blaze standing there, a stern expression on her face and her arms crossed. "What? Good day, Blaze. How's it going?" she asked. Blaze decided not to humor her friend, instead deciding to get straight to the point. "Marine, may I ask just what you were doing earlier?" she asked. Marine twirled her index fingers nervously. No." Blaze raised an eyebrow at that, clearly not pleased with that answer. Marine put her hands behind her back and grinned sheepishly at Blaze. "I was just doing my duties, Captain. You know, taking charge of the ship and all that." Blaze's eyebrow lowered, but the look on her face didn't change. "Marine." Her girl's grin dropped as she looked down at the deck of the ship, scuffling her right foot across it as she spoke. "Okay, so maybe that's not the whole truth. Blaze interjected. "Why don't you start with how you ended up on the ship in the first place?" Marie looked up at her and said, "Oh, right. Well, I don't really know. I was in my home a little while ago, back on Southern Island, making some repairs to the SS Submarine. I heard a noise coming from outside. I went to look, but then I was blinded by some white light. Next thing I knew, I was below the deck of the ship, being tied up by that pirate scoundrel. And actually, I was already tied up, but you know what I mean. There was old statues down there, too." Blaze asked, "Odd statues?" Marie nodded. One of them looked like a bumblebee, and the other two were horses, I think." Silver noticed out of the corner of his eye, Espion Fector heading towards the door, leaning inside the back of the ship at the raccoon's words. Marine continued, "For some odd reason, it felt like they were alive. Somehow, and, well, I managed to get free and felt like they were calling for help. Since I was free, that meant I had to do something about the pirate, and, well, you know the rest. It's true, I promise." Blaze regarded the raccoon, her stern look having eased off. After a moment, she spoke. "Marine, may I remind you the last time you did something like this?" Marine flinched. "No." Blaze said, "You were putting yourself in danger then, and you put yourself in danger here too. You're fortunate that we can hear you from shore, or we would not know you were here. When I got over here, even with your power, you're having trouble with taking that robot down. Are you aware of how many things could have gone wrong had I not shown up to help you?" After a moment, she let her arms drop to her sides, and she closed her eyes before saying, "However, you did distract him and open up his defenses. You allowed us to divide and conquer to take him and his crew down. While your attempt to defeat him yourself was unsuccessful, it did reveal that there were wisps being held captive on this ship." Marie looked at her curiously. "What are you saying, Blaze?" Blaze opened her eyes, glancing in Sonic's direction, saying, "I suppose I'm saying what Sonic said then. What counts is that it all worked out fine." She looked back at Marine. "I'd rather not sound like a broken record. So instead, I'll simply thank you for help and ask you to try to be more careful in the future." Marine perked up at that. "Oh, Blaze, you're a princess, you know that." Blaze raised a hand to her forehead, but she couldn't help but give a small smile at Marine's words. Back with the rest of the group, Applejack looked at Rarity and said, I don't know about you, Rarity, but after seeing Blaze talk to that Marine now, still a little mad at them. I mean, they did kind of get themselves almost killed, so, and they're not exactly like Marine here, so, no." Sora looked over at Spitfire and asked, "Spitfire, since everyone seems to be in a forgiving mood today, don't suppose you could let the fact that I let my desire for pie mess up my real priorities go?" Spitfire glanced down and said, "Oh, I don't think so, Soren. You are not getting off that easy for abandoning your captain in an unknown location." Sora looked down at that, but looked back up when Spitfire smiled. "However, I will hold off on your punishment until we manage to get out of here. Resolve whatever's happening in Equestria that's so big, even the princesses are getting involved in stopping it. Then, we can sit down and talk about it." Sora gave a big grin at that. He knew he was still in trouble. But at least Spitfire was being fair, like he knew her to be. Behind him, Storm grinned nervously at Jet, hoping he would say something similar. But neither the Hawk nor Wave turned their heads to glare at him. Noticing Sonic standing nearby, Shining Armor walked over to him. The head started turning up to look at him as he spoke. Hey, Sonic, listen. I'm sorry about the whole thing earlier, you know. Sonic nudged out and waved a hand. Yeah, no biggie, man. Shining Armor looked down at him, a confused look on his face. I'm being serious here. Sonic replied, so am I. Look, dude, you're not the first one I haven't exactly gotten on the right foot with for one reason or another. And I seriously doubt you'd be the last. What can I say? I roll my own way. Shining smiled as Cadance walked up alongside of him. So I've seen. Now that I know that, I think I would like to see where you and Twilight go from. No, please, let's stop. Stop, Cadance. No, Shining, stop right there. What? Okay, who are these two changelings? Where do they come from? You know, writers of Equestria Girls, you know when people got mad at Flash Sentry and were being idiots about that? This is why. They see dumb moves like this in fanfics, and when you start pulling off like that, they equate the stupidity here. They don't think of the good ones. Because that always seems to be something hard for these people to do. They don't want to think about the good things, only the bad. They only use the bad examples rather than the good. But then again, it's like I've always had Conquest point out, bad and hate is so much easier than liking, isn't it? Oi, can we please stop? Oh my god, this whole entire Shining and Cadance thinking Sonic and Twilight are an item is still going! It won't stop! Shortly afterwards, the door at the back of the ship swung open and Fetcher stepped out, carrying something under his arms. He had a familiar Bumblebee under his left arm and a Pegasus under his right arm. After taking a few steps on his back, he spoke, Okay, we found Charmy! Does anyone recognize this pony? He set the Pegasus mare down on her hooves as he finished, setting her down, letting her stand on her own. Yeah, that's Derpy, Ponyville's local mail mare, Rainbow said. Rain spoke up, Oi, there are two horses down there. What's the other one? Before Spectre could respond, Espio spoke up from behind him. I have her. He stepped around Fector and set the pony down, his hands down, the little filly having no key mark, freckles on the side of her face. Bamps! Applebloom gasped, Scootaloo's sleep outside going right inside of her. I'm only allowing that scene because Babs is important to you girls. Espio stood up and backed off as the key mark crusaders rushed over to the frozen filly. Why do I have the strange feeling that this is the only reason why the Kingdom Crusaders were here was for Babs? But there had to be a better way to do that. Twilight said, I suppose we're just one warp ray away from having a happy reunion. Tails nodded and reached into his... pulling out the warp ring. I'll get set up so we can get going. Before he could toss it, however, Jet Fun broke his silence. Hold it right there! Tails turned the ring because of the loud sound, but he managed to hold on to it. Under Jet confusion, Jet raised, I had to sit through a boring explanation, and all this mussy talk just for Sonic to turn tail and run away? I don't think so. I said we're going to sell this, and I mean it. He glared at Sonic and said, You better hope your legs can carry you over water, Sonic, because we're... Life angry around him. No, we're done here, Jet. She looked at Tails and said, Sorry, you get that ring up, Brian, because we are leaving, and you better save for someplace quiet. Tails quickly nodded and complied, tossing the ring up, and after it expanded, running into his sight, sailing for Pineville. Jet looked at his wave as he stacked the Rose Extreme gear, Storm's arm, and said, Hey, I'm the boss here. I'm the one who— Ow! In the middle of his ranting, Wave grabbed him by his feathers on the back of his head, cutting him off. As he dragged the hawk towards the warp ring, Storm immediately followed without saying a word. Wave yelled, "Do you know how long it's gonna take to fix the screen gear? Not only did Storm get power on his, but you two treated him like shields during that battle, especially when that explosion happened. You think it's easy maintaining them while you lunkheads use them so roughly? And another thing!" Yaris didn't get to hear what she had to say due to her walking through the warp ring, still dragging Jet by his feathers, while Storm quietly followed behind. A moment's silence followed on the deck of the galleon. Storm then commented, "Man, I'm glad you're my boss and not her, Spitfire." The gold Pegasus smiled down at that. "And your husband?" Ring shrugged. "Well, still be apples." Pinkie Pie silly granddad. "Oh, speaking of apples, we're just eating candy apples around here. I'd love to get some candy apples in. Okay, I'm walking." "I'm sorry, Pinkie." "Oh, the rest of the scene's gonna be fun. I know, but still." And I'm ignoring the Pinkie flatterization for the sake of my sanity. But I will have Fireside remind us what this place is. "It was built by a bad human who wanted to put Sonic and Tails' world under mind control by stealing the life force of innocent aliens. I don't want to stay in a place that was built by something like that." Why? Why is the scene here? It's not needed. The entire group stood in front of the Ponyville Hospital, watching as the building regained color, and all the ponies inside came back to life. All of them wondering what happened. Being a hospital, though, the staff, after making sure that nothing had happened to the building, got back to work, doctors and nurses running their rounds. Outside, the group watched as their friends were brought back. The first to recover was the male mare Derpy. The lady's Pegasus eyes both pointing straight ahead. A single blink of both eyes, however, was all it took for one to point a different direction. The mare then gave a happy smile and spread her wings, leaping up and almost hitting her head before her wings slowed to ascent. As she hovered in the air, she said, "That was very scary, but being with all you makes me feel better. Just don't know what happened." Next to recover was Babs Seed, the little filly blinking several times before looking around and exhaling, blowing the side of her mane. "Babs!" Apple Bloom exclaimed. Babs looked surprised for a moment, then she got and smiled. "'Cause!" The two fillies rushed over and tugged, Sleepy and Scootaloo trying over and joining, all of them glad to see each other again. Scootaloo leaned back after a moment and said, "It's good to see you again, Babs." Apple Bloom leaned back again. "We gotta meet out again before the next reunion after all." Babs smiled. "Yeah, obviously." So he then looked around worriedly and asked, "But what's going on here? I was at home a minute ago. How did I end up at Ponyville?" Sweet Belle said, "It's kind of a long story, Babs." Before anyone else could be said, Charmy, who had just been restored and had done a somersault to celebrate, looked at the group and spoke. "I was scared because somebody took me. Derpy hurried down next to him and asked, "You're free?" Charmy nodded. "I'm free." Everyone looked down as the two of them started chanting, "Freebie, freebie, wee." They both fired up and came down, smiling at each other. Sonic and Rainbow danced glanced at each other, both of them raising an eyebrow at everyone else, save for Fender, SPS, Celestia, Luna, and King, looked down markedly. Tony regained her composure and summoned her checklist to quill from saddlebags, taking out the last few boxes on the list corresponding to the ones the group rescued, including the newly added box for Babs. She then spoke, "Looks like we managed to find everyone. All that leaves is..." She stopped short when a red light and a pink light shone from the side of the hospital. Everyone turned to look. Outside, "Look! There's the Chaos Emerald and the Element of Magic!" Tails pointed as they watched. The red Chaos Emerald and the Element of Magic crown quickly regained their cover, slowly shining as though they had been polished. Almost immediately, however, they began to flow away from the group. "Where are they going?" Cadence wondered. Suddenly, a dark void opened up behind the Chaos Emerald and the Element of Magic, a mystery creature emerging from it. Human Crusaders were frightened by it. Both Shining Armor and Princess Cadence looked at it in shock, while both of them reminded of King Sombra. It wasn't a bad comparison either. The monster hovered in place with his hands open while looking at the group. Didn't take him long to realize it was letting the element of magic and Chaos Emerald come to it. Immediately, Blaze, Silver, Vector, and Espio leapt into action. Silver focusing psychokinesis on the creature. Blaze unleashing flames from her hands. Vector breathing fire from his mouth. All this only pushed the creature back away a little bit. Now it was moving forward to grab the crown and the Chaos Emerald. The throwing and exploding started the creature. Espio looked back and said, "We'll hold it back. Just get the Chaos Emerald and the crown." Sonic, Rainbow, Spitfire, and Sora nodded, all the running past them and retrieved the objects. As he spread the rings, Rainbow, Sora, and Spitfire looked as Sonic came to a stop, just a little ahead of them. Spike noticed the way he jumped and excitedly said, "Oh man, is he gonna do it?" Once Sonic spun in midair, Scooter was by, "I think he is, Spike!" Before anyone could ask what they were talking about, Sora, Rainbow, and Spitfire came to a stop. Sonic suddenly stepped forward, Nora stalling around him, his visible ring spraying out from a second ago. Less than a second, he caught it with the Chaos Emerald, grabbed it with his right hand. "What tarnation?" Applejack exclaimed as Sonic flipped over, pressed the palm of his monster's right hand and feet, before turning and boosting with his left hand. Sonic retained the element of magic in his left hand as the creature was about to grab it. Sonic's Twilight smile. "It's a Sonic boost, Applejack!" Sonic let down the creature's hand before he crossed his fingers around him, going straight up before one last trick in the air. Grab him with both hands. The combination of his tricks and his friend's helping causing him to miss. Sonic went down. The creature growled and disappeared back through the void. It was close to him immediately as it went through. Silver, Blaze, and Vector and Espio stopping their attacks after it was gone. Spitfire, Sword, and Rainbow Dash stared at Sonic in amazement as he landed. The Hedgehog standing up straight, flipping the Chaos Emerald up and casting the element behind the element of magic in his left hand as he asked, "Pretty slick move, huh?" Soren gave an exciting answer to his question, while Spitfire nodded in approval. One of her eyebrows glazed. Rainbow continued to stare at the shark for a moment before she closed her mouth and grinned. "That was awesome."